What's up, guys? So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I've been trying everything to get extremely smooth footage while walking. I bought the DJI Osmo, and that camera provided the smoothest footage I've ever seen. But the quality of the video, especially in low light, just wasn't that good, in my opinion. So I think I've finally solved this problem, and I've got the smoothest footage I've ever gotten out of the A7S II and the Zeeman Crane. So I've been using the Crane for a while now. This is the very first edition. It's not the version 2 or the Crane 2, it's the first Crane. And I never really got smooth footage while walking. It's really good if you're standing still, you're panning, or you're doing any kind of a dolly shot, like any kind of movement while your feet are stationary and your hand is moving around. But if you're actually walking, you're gonna get this bump, this hopping motion. So like if you're walking in front of somebody and you're filming them, you're just using the handle like this and you're just walking normal, they're gonna look like this. Now it's really good if you're filming yourself because your body's moving, your head's moving as well while you walk, and the gimbal is moving with you. But if you're filming somebody else talking, it doesn't work that well. So I bought the ZAxis. This is supposed to take out all of that bump. But the thing is, when I was holding it, it's gonna go crazy because it's not on, this way, and I have those arms inverted that way, and the camera's about eye level with somebody, it didn't work that well. It was kind of because the gravity seems to be working against it, and the camera would go this like that more, and I would get this micro jitters when I was walking. But it did work really well when I had these handles pointed up and I had the gimbal inverted and hanging down. But I didn't want every shot to be a really low angle shot. So what I did was I got these monopods. I actually got these at Walmart. They're really cheap. And I just attached those on both sides. Now when the camera is on here, the weight is even, where those arms are gonna lay flat. And now with this, it allowed me to get very smooth shots while I was walking, and it did eliminate all of that up and down bouncing motion that you see in video, in gimbal footage, when you don't know how to really use a gimbal. And I could probably figure out how to walk properly and keep the gimbal stable without all this. I've seen people do it, it's possible, but for me it's just really hard. I've tried doing that low crouching walk where you bend over and you bend your knees and you walk from heel to toe and you hold the gimbal at an angle, and it never looks right. So for me, the stablest footage that I've gotten through all the testing that I've done has been with the ZAxis, the Zeeman Crane inverted, holding it right about in the middle of these two poles. And I always set the mode on my camera to just look forward, not to pan if I move a little bit to the right or the left. Because if it does pan, you could accidentally, especially if you're holding it with two arms like this, you could accidentally, while you're walking, move a little bit one way or the other. And then the camera's gonna look that way, and then you gotta straighten it back out. So if you wanna speed up the footage and slow down the footage and stuff like that, it's not gonna work as well if you have a lot of little jitters that are gonna show up when you speed that footage up, like jerking one way or the other. So I always set the gimbal to just look in one direction and walk in that direction. Now a lot of people, when they do gimbal shots of buildings and stuff like that, like architecture, they're gonna actually slowly pan as they walk, and that's going to smooth out the footage as well. Because if you're just going completely straight, it's a lot easier to see those little hops or little jitters in the footage. But if you are moving and tilting up while you're walking, it's gonna look a lot smoother. It's gonna be a lot harder to notice. So yeah, I'll have this stuff in the description below if you wanna check it out. This is from a company called Beholder. It's called ZAxis. and it's just springs. It's just springs that take out the jitter when you walk. So while you're walking, it's compensating for the movement that your body's doing. And then the gimbal is a 3-axis stabilization. It's stabilizing this and all of this. So when you have all of this combined, that is a 5-axis image stabilizing gimbal. So there you go. That's what I use. If I learn any more about stabilization, I figure anything out that's better than this, I'm definitely going to let you guys know. I'm also going to do a video about what I use when I'm skateboarding. Filming skateboarding, I use a completely different setup because you don't have that walking motion when you're just riding a skateboard filming. So I've got a totally different setup. I still hang it down really low. I actually have a setup where I can hold it waist height and it's going to hold the camera right above the ground. So it's pretty cool. So I'll show you guys that in another video. But as far as this video goes, this thing is awesome. It works really well and it's easy to use. It feels kind of like a Ronin. So right here, this GoPro clip, I've got another one of these coming in the mail soon. I'm going to hook it over here, and then I've got a piece that I'm actually going to hook right there. So it's going to be one piece. And that's going to take a lot of the motion that comes from one side going up higher than the other. This is just going to kind of sit in the middle, but the bottom is going to be connected so it's all one piece. And I'm going to test that out too to see if that works better. So it's going to really feel like one of those DJI Ronin after that. So yeah, it's not that heavy. If you are very weak, it might be heavy. If you're really weak in the arms and you just don't want to add any muscle to your body, get the DJI Osmo. It's a tiny little light thing with the ZAxis. It works great for stabilizing video. But as for me in my house right now, this is what I'm going to be using. So if you guys enjoy videos like this, just tutorials, reviews, videos about what I'm learning as I grow as a filmmaker, then hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.